Hi, in this IE project, I have tried implementing a controller circuit which is controlled by a temperature sensor. I have used LTSpice software for making the circuit, and as it is a good software which eases the making of circuit and checking the output using various kinds of analysis, I use this software here. My contribution to the circuit is to make the temperature sensor, which works on the simple principle that VBE varies with varying temperature. This is my contribution to the circuit, and let's see what else is present in the circuit and learn about it. I have implemented the circuit on LTSpice, and this is the circuit which is in front of you. So there are two main parts of the circuit, a temperature sensor which is on the left and a 2:1 mux in order to choose in between the two inputs which is provided, which is present in the right. So let's learn about them step by step. This circuit is the temperature sensor. It is the circuit that would change its value from 0 volt to 5 volts when temperature rises and lowers back to 0 volts output when temperature lowers. The principle behind the working is that when the temperature increases, the VBE of the transistor lowers, and if we provide the input voltage which is less than 0.7 like 0.5 volts or 0.55 volts, the transistor becomes on after increasing the temperature, and thus it leads to VBE which is lesser than 0.5 volts, thus making the output side to switch on. Also, when the transistor is in cutoff mode, the VCC applied at the output is only the voltage which is available at the output, and thus the output shown is 5 volts. Now let's see the output of the circuit which is present in the left. The output node for the left circuit is VC. This is the output VC, but we see that the output is gradually decreasing from 5 volts to 0 volts, which we do not want in order to apply this to the 2:1 mux. We need a pulse-like output so that we can provide it to the mux. So for that, again using the same circuitry and joining it with the output of the previous circuit. So let's do it. Now I have tied the second part of the circuit to the first part. Now let's check the output. So here we can see that within a small temperature range, my output is now able to jump from 0 volt to 5 volts, which was required in order to provide it to the mux, and that also in order to get perfect output from the mux, because it works on the binary values. Now our first task is complete. Now let's go to the second task and attach the following temperature sensor to the mux. Well, the requirement of temperature sensor is to provide a value VC which will be acting as the select line in the 2:1 mux in order to choose in between the two inputs A and B. The mux here is implemented with the help of NOR gates, and as you can see there are 7 NOR gates in the whole circuit of mux. So let's check the output of the whole circuit which we implemented. So this is the output of our whole circuitry. As you can see that there are two voltage lines. First is the 5 volt voltage line, and second is the 0 voltage line which is provided to the select line of the mux, and there are two voltage inputs, like first is the A input and second is the B input, and this is the output. So on the basis of 5 volt line, we are just choosing the A as it is following the pattern of A, as you can see, and for the 0 voltage line, which is 0 binary in 2:1 mux, we are choosing the path of B. So I think the circuit is working fine, and we are able to choose in between the two inputs provided, which is the core concept which is required in order to make something by using the switching.